Welcome to the Dawn Foods Innovation Studio. My name is Melissa Trimmer. I'm the corporate executive chef here. We're going to be making some fun, new, inspiring recipes. Today we're going to make patriotic, outrageous brownies. The brownies are out of the freezer. It's time to unmold them and put the first layer of icing on. So I'm going to take an offset small palette knife or icing spatula, whatever you call it, and we're going to gently loosen them up around the edges. If you can't get it all the way loosened, that's okay. We're going to use the torch to help us in a few moments. All the way down here as well. I'm going to flip the tray now and do this corner and the next corner as well. There we go. Okay. Once we've loosened the edges, we're going to flip it over. In order to help this loosen, we need to warm the fat so that it releases from the pan. We do this by using a torch, which is my favorite tool. We'll go around the edges of the pan first, and then in towards the middle. Be sure to turn it off completely before setting it down. Next, we'll use that same offset spatula. We'll go in through a corner and loosen it. See how easily it unmolds then? It's great, right? Okay, this is a really important step. Peel the parchment paper off. If you don't do this, you'll be so bummed out later. That's why I have two boards. The next one goes on, and we're going to turn them back around so they're upright. So you should be able to see some layers over there. We're going to have that layer of chocolate chip cookie, the layer of chocolate cream cookies, and then finally that brownie layer. So we're going to add our fudge icing, our patriotic sprinkles, and then it will go back in the freezer before we slice. So this is my Dawn chocolate fudge icing. Right out of the tub, it's gorgeous. I love this for brownies. Okay, we're gonna very quickly spread it around. Remember, these brownies are frozen, so this icing is going to set really quickly. Go ahead and go over the edges because we're going to trim the edges off later when we cut the brownies, so we wanna make sure that every brownie has lots of fudge icing on it. Once we've hit the edges, we are going to texture the icing by drawing the spatula back and forth. Now we're going to add additional texture. We're going to draw an offset spatula through the brownies one way, and then finally the other way. This makes our brownies feel extra delicious. We'll top with these really fun seasonal sprinkles in our patriotic colors. Now, if you wanted to do these brownies for a different holiday, that's fine. Just use whatever your favorite sprinkles are. Okay. Now that the sprinkles are on, we're going to put these brownies back in the freezer and we'll pull them out for slicing and additional icing when they're nice and cold. It's time to slice the brownies. One thing that I love to have on my station when I'm cutting any sort of product is an empty bowl. That's for my scraps, and hopefully for hungry bakers or cooks, so they leave the rest of your food alone. Everybody wants some outrageous brownies. Let's get started. I'm going to use hot water and a clean knife. So first, I'll trim one edge off completely. This is the first donation to hungry bakers. Next, I'll go through and cut the rest of the brownies in clean lines this way. I like to cut them about 3 by 3. If you're worried that you won't be even, you can pause here and mark the brownies ahead of time. If you're going to do that, I like to use a serrated knife that's longer than the pan. So, like so. Some people use a ruler for this. It's really up to you. Once one side of the brownie pan is cut, flip to cut the other side. You can see the gorgeous stripes on these brownies. Chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolate cream cookies, brownies, and fudge icing. Those are awesome. Now that the brownies are iced and cut, it's time to add buttercream garnish. I'm going to use Dawn Exceptional Vibrant Buttercream icings to make a really pretty patriotic design on the top of these brownies. I'll be using the red buttercream, royal blue, and white. Here's how we make the bag. I'll start with red. The key here is to not make it too long and make it nice and thick. Notice how I'm piping the red in a zigzag pattern. Next will be blue. And finally the white. Once the buttercream is piped, I'm going to roll it up, twist the bag, cut the end, and drop it in my piping bag. So we'll roll it up, ensure that it makes a nice little tube, snip the end, and here I have a Bakery Essentials piping bag pre-fitted with a star tip. And you can see we're ready to pipe. We're going to pipe small rosettes in the center of each brownie because we want to see the fudge icing and the sprinkles on the outside and still see this beautiful buttercream garnish. Patriotic, outrageous brownies. For more brownie inspiration, visit dawnfoods.com.